Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. When we are on about general aviation airplanes, I thought the X-plane general aviations were the best ever in terms of flight mode until I found the A2A simulations Comanche, which was released a couple of days ago. And well, I had to change completely my mind because I never used this plane in other simulators such as FSX or P3D, because I read that this developers is very serious in making GA planes, but I didn't think that it could do just superb work by porting this plane into Microsoft Flight Simulator, because I thought that the flight model was kind of bind to the game environment, to the game structure, such as have some restriction that couldn't, free up completely the possibility to make a realistic like plane. But these developers did surprise me because they really succeeded in making a simulator in a simulator. So, because this add-on for me, it's another league compared to everything we have seen in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I would dare saying that this embrace all the flight sims currently available. So this is the first thought that I got when I tried for the first time this plane, and this won't be a full review of the plane because it would take maybe 1 month to explain everything is present here. Just for example, just have a look at the EFP, the tablet. It's completely full of features. At the same time, it's very clear. It's crystal clear to me because you just need a couple of minutes to understand what it's in. From the first flight info, you got the most important information here: barometric pressure, visibility, temperature, and the weather, the wind, of course. Everything you just need to know for every phase of the flight. This is a very complete checklist here you can follow, and also the emergency checklist, what to do on each thing happen. These are the controls, so you can click on the cockpit buttons and knobs, but also for the main ones you can have those controlled here directly in the pad. You can also master the autopilot modes, and so engage in disconnecting, have a cool and dark state, make an auto start scenario. So if you have a short time to do it, you can just click here. These are some options. There are some advanced options. For example, the turbulence in VR. It's very important for me because I'm using VR very frequently. So flat screen for bidimensional and reduce the maybe turbulence or for VR. The wear rate, failure rate. This completely simulates the plane. If you go to maintenance, you can inspect every aspect, everything, every part of the plane. You can choose between the propeller type, and there's also a workaround you can do. You can go outside and sit and so see every part of the plane has it will be in a real world. It is spectacular. So you can do pretty much everything with it. It's like, it's like a toy for me. Look at the details of this wingtip, and yes, the pitot cover. This is the full tank. You can open this and see inside. It's freaking awesome. Okay, you can do the full inspection and the full maintenance of everything. You can have, for example, if you inspect, where is it? This is the maintenance. If you go, this is only the airframe, of course. You can go to the engine and go to the starter. You get a description of what it does and what it is. You can go to the carburetor. Very important to not have icing on the carburetor, for example. Magnetos, oil lines, oil filters, everything is explained. And in the engine analyzer, you got a piston here on this. They're moving when the engine's on, and you got a real-time control and all of the figures, all the numbers. Also, the electric system is depicted here. The battery, if we turn it on like this, you can see that the battery is feeding the cockpit, and of course it's discharging because it's not connected to an external line. This is the alternator. When the engine is on, this is moving, and when it's working, it at the same time as it recharges the battery and feeds the cockpit and all the systems. Here you got all the breakers. They are operable. Here below, you got all the breakers, circuit breakers. You can take them on, off, and all is working. Every button, every switch is working perfectly as the real aircraft. So let's see the perfection of these cockpit details. The gauges. So this is the fuel and payload. We can have somebody sit behind. Here are the characters, models which are not bad at all. And pretty much everything is customizable. You can add the wingtips here on the airframe. If you want to tip tanks, here you can have that. Here they are. I like it better without tip tanks. You can, for each section, you can overhaul each section, so the airframe, the engine, or you can overhaul everything with this button. And we got the hours here, reset. For example, if you overhaul the engine, the hour will come back to 0, and then you will start with perfect new engine. You can also select between a new aircraft or a used aircraft or an auction also aircraft here between those options. Well, it's stunning, the level of detail that I think that this same level, I repeat, I didn't know this developer because I didn't use FSX or P3D. But I could see such a level of detail only on the X-plane, how it's called, the hot start Challenger, and that level of detail was close or maybe higher because there we are speaking about a jet here. It's a general aviation airplane, so that is even more complex. But the level of detail and the attention to everything is similar only to that kind of a product. But here, if you couple, a general aviation plane with the beautiful scenery, I think we have everything we need in a simulation, in a flight simulator. So let's go on and power it up. So controls, we can have the magnetos on both, and we can turn this navigation light on, fuel pump on, and beacon light, right, this one. And we have to select the fuel tanks, left main, right main, and prime. We have to prime the fuel, so you have to pull this lever from 1 to a couple of times, 3-4 times. Okay. And then we set the mixture here to the full reach, and parking brakes are on. Just a little bit of throttle and then start. Okay, and now the pump came off. We don't have any taxi light. We have the strobe light, the pitot heat. So listen to the engine. Great sounds. Let's turn on the avionics, and we have this beautiful display, digital display, which tells everything about the aircraft. It's it's a computer that monitor everything. Oil 85, clear, fill in, okay. That's beautiful. And you can have the fuel flow, the range, the dollars you spend in fuel. So it's beautiful. Let's have the flaps down 1 notch. Okay, I don't have FS realistic. This is default, and you got the vibration of the cockpit's vibration are default. Let's close this and turn on the radials. Look at the details. There's also the hash can. It's beautiful. Let's close this. It's very important. It's external temperature. For this is the engine has got a carburetor, so it just be aware that at high altitudes and low temperatures the carburetor may need to be heated, and you get aware of the icing of the carburetor because the manifold pressure won't go higher it will decrease until 10. Yes, and then you will have no power. So be aware of this. And you just need to pull and to use the carburetor heater. And so when you're high, have a look at these temperatures. Park and brake off. Here we are at Treviso Airport, which is near where I live, so I'm familiar with VFR flying around those areas. What is very impressive, the fact is, first of all, it's the taxiing. This is the first plane in Microsoft Flight Simulator which does not have got the skating effects by moving on the ground. So you can feel the plane. The plane is heavy. You can feel it on the ground. It's not sliding like everything else, maybe except the PMDG, which is also good. But this is very, very good in taxiing and ground handling. We don't go through the full checklist that this plane would deserve, because if you are missing something, you will pay. You know, it has got the failures working. So if you have time to do a complete flight, just follow the checklist which is in the tablet. Okay, let's stop it, and landing lights on, strobe lights on, pitot heat, and this is ready, I think. And let's go. Speed line. Eighty knots, rotate. Gear up. Flaps up. What is also good is the trim handling. The trim is over here, and it's this, you know, the dynamic of this is very well made as well. It's very progressive and precise. Let's diminish the RPM a little bit. Autopilot is there. We can engage the autopilot with this switch, and we can go to heading mode by clicking this button. Heading mode here, it will turn, basically it will keep the pitch that you can adjust by changing this lever, and it will follow the heading here. there's also an altitude hold function that you can use by hitting this button. Hold, engage, alt, engage, disengage. So when we are happy with the altitude, for example 3000, we can click this button and it will level here. Now it's leveling. It will also be correcting to get back to the point where I clicked this, and this is commanding a pitch down because you cannot maneuver the pitch. You have manually pitched down until the lights will extinguish, so it will be fine with the pitch down, 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 down. Okay, now it's extinguished, and the altitude can be reached, so it will maneuver until 3000 is reached. Let's decrease the throttle a bit. Let's give a look. Temperature is not a problem here for the carburetor icing. You can feel the power of the wind and the turbulence, which is very well made as well. We can also now lean the mixture a little bit until the AGT temperature goes at there is something, no, so lean too much. We have to get the best position of leaning the mixture, so having the optimum, so the higher temperature AGT and the minimum mixture, so we can achieve the optimal fuel consumption. You can check the fuel consumption here. Let's always check the cylinder temperature. I was telling before about the engine's strokes. You can visualize here, and the maintenance engine analyzer. You can see the engine strokes, and you know, the outside temperature, torque, RPM, percent power, everything is under control. Magnetos, it's simply fantastic for me, having this. And also I was telling you about the wing flex, which feels like natural to me. The wings is moving on a wind like a real wing. The flexibility and the way it is sway on the wind is, to me, the best. It's the best. Everything's fine behind here. I think so. So if you want to get a full review of this plane, you can check the tube and see that the professionals, people, I think also AccuSim has made a video on this. For sure they will explain every single detail of this to you. So I just want to have you know, quick view of this plane and offer you the possibility to see the way it's working, the way it's flying, and of course if you need to go deeper inside the knowledge of this plane, then just check the YouTube videos of professional pilots. And let's have a look at some runway here, because we don't have any GPS. You can of course you can have the GPS if you want to, and the controls you can choose everything, every type of GPS. For example, this one. No GPS position. It's in the searching. It's searching, I think. I never used the GPS before. Okay, this is the Vicenza VOR, so we can go to, we can go to maybe Tiene Airport, which is somewhere on the northern side of Vicenza. It's over there. It's Lima India Delta Hotel. It's Tiene. Let's go over there and attempt a landing. We can check the wind if we have the plane here. Settings. Plane Lima India. Here, weather, the winds, it's VFR conditions. The winds, the wind 45 knots, 45 knots. So the runway, maybe I think we can go with the 35. The airport has got a grass runway, I think. It is. We are still too far. I think it is somewhere over here. Anyway, the way this plane flies is spectacular. You can feel it. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. This is Vicenza, I think. Yes, I think it's Vicenza. We have 20 degrees Celsius. Nothing to worry about the icing, because yesterday I did a flight on the Northern Europe where it's well chilling at altitude. It's needing trim up. It was chilling, and the carburetor every time got in the icing conditions, so I had to use this heater. So the here is where the flight model comes in and help you in the flight. This is very natural turning, no surprises. That's the airstrip. We can cross the runway and then make a downwind and then land at here. This is the 35 threshold. Here is the grass strip. Pay attention because the plane is very difficult to slow down. It's like a glider. I will need my track IR here to keep tracking the airport. Okay, we can set gear down. And one flap notch down. You can see that the vertical speed you can't keep this very stable. Here there's the threshold. So in every situation you can keep very calm because the flight model will help you. Flaps 2. So even with my problems on the GPS alignment and also on these gyro, maybe it's something happened that this is completely out of tuning, because now we are facing northwest and this is telling, you know, maybe there's some, no, it's I don't know what happens because this is maybe it's not working. Anyway, doing our VFR spotting, we found out the airport and we are safe. We are safe because In every condition, the flight model helps you to maneuver the aircraft very precisely, and this makes this plane be the best TA plane we can have at the moment for MSFS. And it you can I say before, it can rival with X-plane as well, in my opinion. With no doubt, definitely it can be, maybe it's the best right now, and we can expect to have again to have surprises by this developer, which is now actively working in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So yeah, we likely maybe expect other toys like this. Okay, while I was speaking, the engines got shut off for I don't know for what reason. Maybe I didn't keep the RPM high enough. So let's turn everything off. Mixture, landing lights, beacon, strobe, and also the avionics and master switch off. Fuel tanks off. We are done. It was only my second flight with this beast, and I couldn't manage everything. I only wanted to give an overview of this to you, and I recommend to buy this plane because it's worth every cent, every penny, because the quality is top notch in every aspect. Okay guys, thank you again for following, and consider to subscribe to the channel if you like it, and see you to the next video. Bye bye.